Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala nabiyhi wa mustafa Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man walah wa ba'd. My dear respected brothers and sisters, welcome to another live edition of our program Ask Huda. We slightly changed the phone numbers due to technical problems, and the new phone numbers should appear on the bottom of the screen as follows. For those who would like to give us a call during the live show, area code 002 then 0100-546-9323. There will be also a WhatsApp number for your free dial-in, area code 001 then 347-80-60025. Again, the WhatsApp number is area code 001 then 347-80-60025, and we're live on my page as well. That's Salah Official. The first question we have is from Abdul Malik Shaban. Abdul Malik says, after Assalamu alaikum, during the last 10 days of Ramadan, can one pray taraweeh and also go in for tahajjud the same night? Well, according to the hadith of Aisha, the mother of the believers, may Allah be pleased with her, who said that whenever the last 10 nights of Ramadan would enter, the Prophet ﷺ would do three things. The first is he would fasten his waist belt, which means this is an indication that he is about to do a hard labor. And he would wake up his entire family, and he would stay up for the whole night in worship. So, taraweeh, night prayer, the Prophet ﷺ used to worship throughout the whole night during the last 10 nights of Ramadan, which means it is definitely recommended to pray taraweeh and also follow the taraweeh with tahajjud. And for your info, brothers and sisters, the good news I wanted to share with you is that staying up and making dhikr, or reading Quran, or praying, or even eating the sahur meal, all of that counts as ibadah or worship. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Aslam Sultan. Aslam says in his question, in Eid prayer, I have noticed that the Imam in some mosques do 7 and some do 5 and so on. The takbir, he means. What is the correct number, and should we raise our hands in each takbir or not? In the Eid prayer, in the first rak'ah, the Imam makes 7 takbirs. 7 takbirs. That is other than the beginning takbir or the opening takbir, takbiratul ihram. And it's a sunnah. And the followers should raise their voices and raise their hands as well. So you recite it out loud. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, 7 times. Then when he rises to the second rak'ah, the Imam also makes 5 takbirs. So 7 in the first rak'ah and 5 in the second rak'ah. Farah Khan. Sister Farah says, my sister and her husband has a family of 3 sons who are married and they live together. Is zakah eligible for her? You mean whether she is eligible for zakah or not. Ayah number 60, chapter number 9, Surah At-Tawbah. What does Allah the Almighty say in this regard? He says, إِنَّمَا الصَّدَقَاتُ لِلْفُقَرَاءِ وَالْمَسَاكِينَ. If your sister, if your nephews and nieces, if your brothers are poor and eligible for zakah to receive it from people who are not related to them, then it is more worthy for them to receive it from you, and it is more worthy for you to begin by giving zakah to your relatives and brothers and sisters, nephews and nieces. It doesn't matter whether they're living together or living separate. And what is the cause of the poverty? Is it disability? Is it retirement? Is it debt? If they're eligible, begin by them. And for giving the zakah in general and the sadaqah, even if it is a voluntary charity, to family members who are not among the heirs, yani parents and children, you don't give them zakah. Grandparents and grandchildren, they are not eligible for your zakah because their financial support is due upon you. But brothers and sisters, nephews and nieces, when you give them, you receive double reward. The reward for giving your zakah, the reward of the charity, and the reward for upholding the ties of your kinship. May Allah bless you and your families. The following question is Bon Lion. The questioner is asking, I voluntarily let my sister use my money, but she will pay back whenever she can. No pressure in payment. Is it halal to use the money for Hajj? Please answer, Sheikh, because I'm planning to go for Hajj. You see, the question is kind of vague, and it is not just one question, it is multiple questions in one. The first question is with regards to the debt. When you give your sister, when you give your brother, when you give your mother, when you give a stranger any money, it must be in the form of debt. It must be documented somehow in writing, witnesses, video camera, so that people would know that this person borrowed from you as a creditor certain amount of money. And also you must specify the time frame, the time span, and whether it's a gift or a loan. Most of the problems that we encounter trying to counsel people, answer their questions, or reconcile between opponents is because when one person gave the money to another, he didn't specify a time. He didn't say, well, I need the money back in 3 years. How are you going to pay it? Monthly, bi-monthly, annually, bi-annually? And whether this money is a debt, a loan to begin with, or is it simply a gift? People do say, well, I thought it's a gift. He didn't tell me. Well, he didn't ask. So big confusion. The longest ayah in the Quran is known as Ayatul Dayn. Imagine the whole ayah is talking about regulating the debt, what the creditor should do to secure his or her rights, and what the borrower, the debtor, should do in order to fulfill his commitment towards the creditor. إذا تداينتم بدين إلى أجل مسمى فاكتبوه. It must be documented in writing. But sometimes I trust the person and there are witnesses. Witnesses will do it. So that if any person, if any party, whether the creditor or the debtor die, the other party knows their rights or their duties and obligation. The second question in your presentation is, can I perform Hajj with money which I borrowed? Yes, it is permissible. As long as the loan that you borrowed, you did not borrow it with interest, and it is not due right now, and you're capable to pay it off on time. Because Allah is not asking you to do anything beyond your capacity. Look at the ayah 97 of Surah Al-Imran. وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ حِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. Only if you can afford it. If you cannot afford it, you don't have to perform Hajj. But whether it's permissible to take loan to go for Hajj, it is permissible as long as you assume that you'll be able to pay it back. The following question is, again, Sangita Sina. Her question is, let me know the actual rak'ah of taraweeh for women. It is not any different than for men. Taraweeh for men or women is the same. The ideal number of rak'ahs for taraweeh is to pray 8 rak'ahs 2 by 2, then you pray witr, either 3 altogether, or 2 rak'ahs, then tashahhud and taslim, and 1. If you can afford to pray more, and if you can afford to recite a longer recitation, or to break it down into more than 8 rak'ahs, that too is permissible. The Prophet ﷺ was reported by Aisha as praying only 8, then the witr. By Abdullah ibn Abbas in the sound hadith, he prayed 13 rak'ahs altogether. The companions of the Prophet ﷺ prayed 21 rak'ahs, and the companions would never do anything which is an innovation, because they understood from the Prophet ﷺ that he said, Salatul Layli Mathna Mathna. So what matters is, as long as you keep praying at night 2 by 2, 2 by 2, and by the end you pray the witr 1 rak'ah, that will do it, inshallah. Next question is, line is asking, I'm 43 old, can I go for Umrah or Hajj without a mahram? We did discuss the difference of opinion in this regard before, and according to Imam Shafi'i and also Imam Malik, may Allah have mercy on them, it is permissible provided you don't have a mahram to travel with you. Number 2, you're traveling with a company which is described as safe, so they will take care of you as if you're a family member. Group of women, travel agency where you have a lot of people with you. You will not be on your own. You will not be stranded at an airport here or there. According to Imam Abu Hanifa and according to Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, and also this is the obvious meaning of the text of the hadith, a woman shouldn't be traveling a travel distance alone without a male mahram, even for Hajj or Umrah. May Allah guide us to what is best. Sister Zainab Absi is asking, can you do it on behalf of a dead friend? Well, it seems like okay. Her first question is it allowed to sponsor someone to do Umrah on behalf of a dead family member when you are in the UK? Yes, it is permissible. And it is permissible to pay them for their cost and for the time that they spend, provided you should choose a person who is trustworthy. He would actually do it. Number 2, the person who's doing Hajj or Umrah on behalf of another person, whether a late person or a person who is physically unable to travel, should have done his or her own Hajj and Umrah first. So if you hire somebody who says, I would charge 50 grams, and you're okay with that, fine. Pay the 50 grams and ask him first, have you done your Umrah? Have you done your Hajj? Yes, I did, and I've done it for many times, and I do it on behalf of others. Is that permissible? Yes, that is permissible. And when you said, can you do it on behalf of a dead friend? Yes. You don't have to have blood ties with any person in order to benefit them with the good deed you do. Like just yesterday, Allah inspired me. This is how I perceive it, that inshallah I'm going to do Umrah on behalf of our sister Razan, who was martyred in Gaza, in Palestine, by the pure evil Israeli sniper. She was a nurse, and she was hunted down while even raising her hands, and her white coat was soaked with blood. I don't know the sister personally. We never met. She's a mother of a child, and she's a nurse. So is it permissible for anyone to do Umrah on her behalf? Yes, it is permissible, and you will be rewarded for it, and the reward for Umrah will reach the sister. And this is my intention, inshallah. If I have a chance to do Umrah, I will be more than happy to do Umrah on her behalf, inshallah azza wa jal. For the following question, Nushin, Sister Nushin is asking, can a fidya be given in the form of money? Well, when Allah the Almighty says, فَفِدْيَةٌ إِطْعَامُ miskin, then it must be given in food. It'am, Allah said it'am, food. Okay? When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says and prescribes, or the Prophet ﷺ prescribes the fidya as feeding, then it must be presented in the form of feeding or food, whether raw or cooked. And if you can't, there are NOGs, non-profit organizations, who actually do collect the fund, and they will redistribute it by buying food and giving it to those who are eligible. Sister, okay, I would just say the first name, Sister Fatima from the USA, without a male guardian, how should a divorced girl look for a future husband in the USA? And I think we have another similar question from Zainab from the USA. In fact, Sister Fatima, Sister Zainab, and all the single moms or the sisters who've never been married before, I gotta tell you that it should be our duty. Every imam in the local community, his post and his task isn't just to lead the prayer and to show up to say Allahu Akbar and lead the prayer or give ta'aleem. These are not everything that he has to do. One of the most important tasks is the social work for the community. You know, marriage counseling, solving problems. Whenever I know that there is a brother who wants to marry, all the community members should trust the imam. He should be trustworthy enough to be trusted, so that I will go and I say Imam Saab or Sheikh or Maulana or whatever, or Ustaz, because in the US now everybody's Ustaz. Okay, I have a daughter, she's at marriageable age, I'm well off, I want to get her married, but you know, I'm afraid that, you know, maybe I wouldn't really get the right person. You know better. Yes, he should know better. He should have established relations with the family members and the community members of the community to know that this family, they have a girl at a marriageable age, and this family, they have a boy at a marriageable age, and they can afford it. Try to introduce them to each other and keep it very confidential. Okay, making an effort in order to get those who are not married, never been married before, or divorced or widows, is actually not any less important than the prayers, than fasting, than building a masjid or raising fund for the community. It is as important as establishing the building and giving classes and ta'aleem. So yes, sister, if you have a local imam, he should be capable to do that. And I'm advising myself and out loud my dear colleagues in Europe, in the States, this is your task. You should shoulder your responsibility. Assalamu alaikum. Umar from Gambia. Assalamu alaikum, Umar.
Wa alaikum salam. How are you, Ya Sheikh?
I'm doing fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to know the ruling in Islam, like somebody who left his wife for like 8 years, and on his return, he made the wife having 3 children on his behalf.
He did what?
Is it permissible?
On his return, he did what?
I said the wife bare 3 children on his absence.
The wife has 3 children?
Yeah, on his absence. So I want to know what's the ruling in Islam. Is it permissible for him to break the marriage or?
Okay, and for 8 years he didn't know that she conceived 3 times and she gave birth 3 times? Are you kidding me?
Yes. It is something very serious, because the guy is my uncle.
My dear brother, and your uncle used not to call his wife, used not to know anything about her?
No. They were hiding it from him.
They were hiding what from him? Hiding that his wife is with somebody else? Because look,
yeah, because he was doing it secretly. All of a sudden, when he returned, he found out that the wife has 3 kids.
Habibi, my dear brother Umar, I'm sorry, I can't buy that. I can't buy that a wife who's married, she would have an illicit relationship and she would conceive for 9 months and she will give birth, and secretly, all of a sudden, oops, we have a baby. And then she will do it again and again. And you said that they were keeping it secret, they were hiding it from him. You know, something is not straight. It could be because accusing somebody of an act of adultery is such a big deal in Islam, and it's such a major sin. So it could be that because perhaps, I'm not sure, that the husband disappeared and she filed for a separation after a year or 2, and she got a separation verdict and she got married somebody else. She got married on a small scale where only her family members or parents know that she's married. So I'm not aware of the circumstances. But on the other flip, if somebody found his wife pregnant and gave birth when he was absent, yani he's never been with her, then this is complete act of adultery. It is punishable for in Islam with severe punishment. And even in the secular law, there is a punishment for that. And when you say, is it permissible for him to separate? Of course it is permissible, and it is his right, and it is his right to demand also, a compensation for all what he paid. May Allah guide us to what is best. I beg the viewers to understand that when you call and when you ask a question, I'm not answering you only. I'm answering all the audience. So if the question doesn't make sense, I represent the audience, and your question represents the audience. So I have to verify it, and I have to say the disclaimer, in case that this is true, whether I believe it is true or not. So you don't take it and you say, well, the Sheikh said that you're an adulteress. I never said so. I said, number one, we have to investigate. For 8 years he was gone and he doesn't know that his wife gave birth 3 times. Something is definitely not straight there. Okay? But if a woman conceives without being married, that's an act of adultery. When a woman conceives actually and her husband has not been with her for months because he's abroad, this is definitely an act of fornication. May Allah guide us to what is best. Sister Caroline is asking, I'm a single sister. Some Muslim brothers ask me to be with them. I don't really know the meaning of to be with them, but if I'm not ready for a relationship right now, should I continue to wait until I'm ready for the step, even though marriage is half of my deen? May I rephrase your question, sister? Okay? Because the word to be with somebody is very ambiguous. It could mean a lot of things. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Sister Fatima from the USA.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you?
I'm doing fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Fatima.
Yes, brother, I have one question about zakat.
Okay.
Do we have to, after calculating, do we have to give the zakat away by the end of Ramadan, or can we give later after Ramadan also? Because a few people come after Ramadan also to ask for zakah.
Sister Fatima, which kind of zakah you're asking about?
It's zakat for the entire year.
Okay, then you're asking about zakah on
the
wealth.
Compulsory.
Yes, zakah on one's wealth.
Zakat.
Right. Okay.
Zakat on one's wealth. Yes.
Correct. Zakah on one's wealth, the date of the payment of the zakah is and could be different from one person to another. Based on what determines the date of the payment of the zakah is not Ramadan or Sha'ban or January. What determines the date is the actual date on which you started possessing certain amount, which we call it the nisab. We check out the value of 85 grams of gold or the value of 595 grams of silver. If it reaches, if it is for instance, for example, 4,000 US dollar. And last year on Sha'ban, I've been working and I saved the sum of 4,000. So that is the nisab. Next lunar year, okay, Sha'ban next year, how much do they have? It has become 8,000. You pay zakah on that. It's still 4,000. That is the nisab. You still pay zakah on that. Oh, it's only 3,000. Then you don't pay any zakah because at the due date of the payment of the zakah, you don't possess the amount which we call it zakatable. How much is the value exactly right now? I'm not sure, because it fluctuates. And the standard is how much worth 595 gram of silver or 85 gram of gold. So if your due date of the payment of zakah happens to be in Rajab or Sha'ban or the first of Ramadan, you're not allowed to postpone it until Eid or after Eid. You only have a few days to dispense the zakah, not weeks. Okay? So once again, brothers and sisters, once the zakah is due, and we just learn when is it due. Your due date is different than mine, different than my wife's. Every individual position will determine the due date. Then you must pay it next year on exactly the due date. You can pay it in advance, no problem. But on the due date and a few days after, you should have finished with your zakah. The sister, before we take a break, Sister Caroline, there is no meeting with a non-mahram men unnecessary, to go out with them, to get to know them, or to be with them. It's as simple as that. Whoever is interested in marrying you, and if you're interested, let him meet your guardian, and if there is chemistry, Bismillah, proceed on, get engaged, and so on. Otherwise, it is not permissible in Islam. My dear brothers and sisters, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back inshallah in a couple of minutes. Please stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Our phone numbers and contact information should appear on the bottom of the screen. Area code 002, then 010054699323, and the WhatsApp number, calls only, and only during the live show, please. Okay, the phone doesn't stop ringing 24 hours, mashallah. Area code 001-347-806-0025. And also I'm taking the questions from my page. We're going live on my page, that is Salah official. We have a question here about Salatul Awabin. Can I pray between Maghrib and Isha? It is permissible and recommended to pray Nawafil between Maghrib and Isha. But in fact, you can pray 2 by 2, you can pray 6 rak'ahs between Maghrib and Isha. But in fact, the name Awabin is given to the Duha prayer. Since in the sound hadith, Prophet Muhammad said, Salatul Awabin hina tarmadul fisal. Okay? So that is Salatul Awabin. It is a Duha prayer. And it's the best time to offer it. Okay? The Awabin prayer is like an hour or so before noon, before Dhuhr time. This is when it is really hot, whenever it is the hottest part of the day. Ramiza is asking, ya Shaykh, can I take 2.5% from my husband's money, which he keeps with me, and pay zakah without his permission? I want to ask you a question. Does he pay zakah or he doesn't? If he doesn't, take it and pay. But just confirm that he is not paying the zakah, because he may be giving his zakah, and on the other hand, he's giving also voluntary charity, and he doesn't share with you. Okay? A woman, whenever she gives in a charity from her husband's money, he will be rewarded definitely, and she will be rewarded too. But when you're saying zakah, this is something very serious. You have to remind your husband, you have to alert him that this is not optional. If you don't pay zakah, this is very, very problematic. So you say, why don't you trust me of taking care of the zakah? Because I'm afraid that he's paying and you don't know about that, and you end up taking also from his money. Okay, thank you all of you, mashallah. May Allah bless you and grant you success. Nice wishes and prayers. May Allah accept from all of you. Here is a question. I'd like to know if having a loan in an Islamic bank is riba, and is Bitcoin riba? I'm not playing Bitcoin, but there are close to engage in the game. Okay, Aisha will answer your question inshallah after this call. Brother Anwar from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you?
I'm doing wonderful, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Sheikh, a very simple question. Previously I have asked, but probably because of multiple questions, maybe it was missed out or dropped within the rush. Alhamdulillah, you are answering and making our life better. Alhamdulillah. Okay, the question is, again, in India we have our accounts and where we have to take our interest. If we don't like it, also they pay the interest. So normally we go and give it to people, non-Muslims, but can it be given to Muslims?
Okay.
That was the question. That is all.
Okay. Got your question, brother.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Jazakumullah.
You know, this matter is really problematic for all of us, not for most of us. I would say for all of us. Every one of us who has to put his money, his saving in a bank account. And the brother is feeling sorry because he says in India we have, and says who that only in India? Where you're living right now, you know, everywhere in Muslim countries, you know, conventional banks are all over, and riba is so widespread. The believers do their best to distance themselves from usury, which destroy their homes, destroy their families, and withdraws barakah from their lives. So the question is how to go about it. I know that the interest is, for instance, $500. What am I supposed to do with them? Withdraw the $500 and get rid of them. How to dispense them? To whom? Who's the recipient? Who's eligible? You know, anything but not the masjid. You don't invest it in the masjid. Okay? Yani, can I give it to an orphanage? Permissible. We have a poor neighbor, can I give it to him? Permissible. Poor Muslims? Yes, permissible. For him, he has nothing to do with the source. It's not stolen money. So for him as a recipient, it is halal. And for you, you got rid of the interest. You got rid of the usury. You're not blameworthy, alhamdulillah, because that was the only option available for you. Once we have Islamic banking, like if you have Al-Rajhi, for instance, and another conventional bank, and you choose to put in a conventional bank, while the Islamic bank provides all the banking facilities, then you're blameworthy. Oh, but I take the interest and I get rid of it. It is not about getting rid of the interest. They take your money and they lend it with interest. You know? May Allah guide us to what is best. So a short answer, can I give it to Muslims who are poor? Yes, you may. But not to family members, of course. And same to all of you. May Allah bless you. May Allah accept your dua and our dua for you. I truly love you all for the sake of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Sister Zainab from the USA. Wa alaikum salam. Would you please raise your voice, Sister Zainab? The sound is very poor. Can you raise your voice, or the brothers, can you raise the volume of the speakers in the studio?
Yes, can you hear me now, Sheikh?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I called you last week too, that Huda TV is not coming here in America.
Okay, but you're watching me right now on online.
Yes, I'm watching on the. Yes, I am. Yeah, but I'm not able to do it live streaming. But I'm watching your videos on your Facebook page and the recorded ones.
Okay. Yes, Sister Zainab. The reason we're doing so because really, you know, we are struggling to survive. So that doesn't cost me much to air it here. Otherwise, everything costs. You know, it's been a few months we're not able to pay the cost, the employees. You know, even though the salaries are very insignificant, but somebody have to come up with that. So that's why we are not going, you know, on the live streaming, because it was disconnected. The phone lines, unfortunately, are not working, the landlines. So we are doing our best. Make dua that may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us prosper so that we will continue.
Ameen.
And for the time being,
Ameen,
inshallah, and until we create another YouTube channel, you can go ahead and watch the live streaming on my page. Okay? Do you have any questions, Sister Zainab?
No, Sheikh. Jazakallah khair.
Jazana wa yakum. Thank you so much. Ameen. May Allah bless you and your family. Barakallah fikum. Wa fikum barak. Okay, because the questions keep coming, mashallah, I lose them. The question about what does it mean to dream that Surah Al-Ikhlas is written on the walls and I'm reading in Surah in my dream. It does mean Kurshida Kazim. It means a beautiful thing, but what does it mean exactly? I don't know. Seeing the Quran in a dream is such glad tidings and good news, especially when you see a verse which delivers good news, or the verse of Tawheed. So it could be a sign of inviting you to attach more to the Tawheed, to study your Aqidah, to learn your belief. I do not interpret dreams though, but only because I saw that it's a good thing. I wanted to share with you that it's a good thing. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Muhsin from India. Assalamu alaikum, Muhsin.
Yes, yes, sir. Sheikh, I have one question regarding is it permissible we can add in Durood Ibrahim fil alamina innaka hamidum majid in salah? Is it permissible?
This is what we actually say. على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Yes,
I can say in salah also. No problem.
Yeah, أخي محسن, it is actually prescribed in the prayer. There are different formats. Okay, so you can say اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد, or في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. That is permissible.
Okay, thank you, Sheikh.
Barakallah fiik.
Very much.
Yes,
sir, pray for me, sir. Thank you.
Allah bless you and your family. Ameen. Rafia Khan, Sister Rafia, is saying my father expired in Toronto 24th of May during Ramadan, but buried on the 25th in Jum'ah prayer. Will he be asked questions in the grave in Ramadan and on Jum'ah prayer? First of all, may Allah have mercy on your father. May Allah make his grave a garden of paradise and fill it with nur for him. Ameen. When the person dies, he will not be questioned about anything that happened after his death that he was not responsible for. We are taught by the Prophet ﷺ that the sunnah is to hasten to bury the dead person. Okay? When he died on a day which he was fasting, this is a good sign that this person, insha'Allah, man khutima lahu bisiyam. Whoever ended up his life while fasting, this is a good sign that this person will go to heaven. Man khutima lahu bisadaqah. Whoever gave any charity, then he died soon after. Somebody was praying and he died during the prayer. These are all good indications that the person had a great conclusion of his life. Anything that happened after his life, he is not responsible for. But dying on, on Thursday, then being buried on Friday, sometimes it is needed in order to gather the community members or family members who are abroad and they are arriving. All of that is permissible. But it shouldn't be longer than that. Burying and hastening to bury the dead person is the sunnah. Barakallahu fikum, and may Allah have mercy on your late father, Sister Rafia. Okay, I just answered your question, Muhsin. I just read it here as well. Shari Omar, Shari is saying, I had mash on my socks and I forgot about it. So I took it out, or took one of them out, but I remember after I removed them. Then I put them back on. Is my wudu valid, or can I still pray? Well, according to the vast majority of the Muslim jurists, the fuqaha, that when you wipe over your socks, over your leather boot or shoes or socks, which cover the ankles, because you put them on wudu, and if you take them off, that would invalidate the wudu. Then you will have to perform a new wudu. Some of our respected lay scholars are of the view that, well, there is no straightforward evidence that taking off the socks which you wipe on or the boot would invalidate the wudu. But if you will have to make a new wudu, then you cannot wipe on them again because you put them on quickly, as you said in your case. So the best is to take them off and perform wudu, according to the opinion of the vast majority of the scholars. Barakallahu fikum, Sister Shari. Okay, Sister Rafia is sending a clarification. Will he be in paradise because he died in Ramadan and buried on Friday after afternoon prayer? Well, what did I say? These are all good indications, you know, for a person, not because he died in Ramadan, but because he was fasting, because he was a believer. Or maybe he was sick and he wasn't able to fast, but in normal cases he used to fast, okay? But there are a lot of Muslims, a lot of non-Muslims who die in Ramadan and die on Friday. It doesn't mean that any person who dies on Ramadan, they go straight to heaven. There are some Muslims who die in Ramadan and on Friday, on Thursday evening, Friday night, and they didn't pray. Or they died while drinking. Or they died and they were not fasting deliberately. So they are excluded. But dying on Friday or the night of Friday, of course, is a good sign, and they will be protected from the torment of the grave, and inshallah they will go to heaven. May Allah have mercy on him and all our late brothers and sisters. اللهم اغفر لحينا لحينا وميتنا وذكرنا وأنثانا وحاضرنا وغائبنا. اللهم اغفر لنا ولسائر المسلمين والمسلمات. ربنا اغفر لنا ولوالدينا والمؤمنين والمؤمنات يوم يقوم الحساب. By that, my dear respected brothers and sisters, we've come to the end of today's edition of Ask Huda. Until tomorrow, inshallah, I leave you all in the care of Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance.